Hey Dave, how
What
are you?
up? I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fantastic on this beautiful Wednesday, even though it feels like a Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how that, right? Monday holidays do that.
It is. Yeah. That's why I'm giving the people a couple extra minutes to log in because I'm sure like me, they don't know what day it is. So, because I thought for sure it was Tuesday this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
That's
For
the benefit
sure.
of having little dogs. They don't let you ever, there's no every day is the same routine.
Oh, so that was the benefit of having little kids at one point, but my kids aren't that little. In fact, I dropped my daughter off at college about 3 weeks ago.
That's
And weird feeling, man.
I bet. I bet.
I don't recommend it. I do. I'm kidding, but it's not a good
I
feeling.
recommend children going to college. I don't
I
recommend.
don't recommend dropping them off. If they could get
Right,
college at home, great.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
I'm
funny.
excited about talking to you today about this topic because, you really do stand out as the poster boy, for lack of a better term, the impact of breaking free. Like, really, okay, we all know it's good and why. But let me not skip ahead here. Thank
Mm,
you for everyone. We have a nice full house today. I'm Carmine Corino, founder and CEO of Cornerstone Planning Group, an independent fee-only RIA based in New Jersey with offices around the country. I'm here joined with my good friend Dave Del Biro, and this month is your 3-year anniversary here, you and your partner,
yep.
Strata Capital, of joining Cornerstone. And that's going to be the crux of today's conversation is, okay, we're 3 years in. Okay. We know the first couple months, it's a lot of work, client conversations, learning new technology, transitioning accounts, changing your day-to-day operations. But the dust settled for you guys fairly quickly, I believe, compared to
Yep.
most.
Yep.
But now we're 3 years out, right? So we've had many of discussions here of the why. And most advisors know coming from a constrained environment. In fact, I don't know if you remember this, Dave. I thought about this morning.
Mm,
When that managing partner at the insurance company we were both at was trying to recruit you, he used me to help recruit you. I don't know if you remember, we had,
I do actually. You and I had a
yeah,
conversation. I remember exactly where I was actually when we had it, interestingly enough. But yeah, we talked for 45 minutes to an hour. You answered all my questions, and it's really funny. Um, I guess how many years later, right? The reconnection and how that went down. That is kind of funny.
it is. And I apologize for giving you information to join that insurance company in
I know
advance.
where
If
that's
I knew
going.
then what I knew
Right.
now, I would say in code, run for the hills. We were very similar back then, and we continue to have this alignment of
Yeah.
what client impact is
Yeah.
and things like that. The crux of today's story, and I want people to know what's possible. And we're actually developing white papers around what has happened to you and your partner Carmine, by the way,
Yep.
shocker, in
The
New
other
Jersey.
Carmine. Right.
Yeah, we call him OC, other Carmine. And we petitioned to have him change his name, but he hasn't done it yet. I'm gonna have to ping him on that. Um,
Good luck.
the yeah, exactly. Um, we're actually taking the data from Strata Capital, so you and Carmine, a team here at Cornerstone, and three other advisors, that the impact of going independent, plugging into a functional tech stack,
Oh
having
yeah.
autonomy, things like that. What has been the impact? And the data that we've received that we're going to create white papers on is unbelievable. Your story, we're under 3 years here because we got this data months ago.
Hmm.
You and your partner have grown 300%,
Yep.
3x
Yep.
in under 3 years, right? This could be a
That's
book.
right. Yep.
And what today's topic is, what I want to extract are, we can go in, there's probably 15 or 20 things that have helped you attribute to this growth. Top three, we reviewed these a few weeks ago because, again, going through the 15 or 20, what are the three that really moved the needle the most? And the first one, and is something I've said on many podcasts, on many webinars, is true alignment. So that insurance company you and I were at
Yeah.
together, we had some alignment. But true alignment is when your vision and your firm's vision overlap. It's almost one voice. It's one narrative. So talk to me about how the alignment was pre-transition, and then how the alignment is today.
But yeah. I mean, this is something I think you're right. This is definitely the number one, but for us, there was we were like a lot of other people that are in that environment. We were just kind of chugging along, trying to grow our business. I think for the most part, we didn't initially. I know there was a turning point for us, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I don't think we realized how not being in. We were just not in the same business as the company we were working with. That's really it. We were just in two different businesses, and that came in a conversation that I'd had with a couple of people, where and again, I don't want to. I'm not trying to talk bad about the company because in no way, shape, or form, I don't dislike anyone there. I think everyone was wonderful, but again, just in different businesses. But it came when we were working on a client for one of the people that worked, a junior advisor that worked with us, and it was one of their family members, and just the what was being pushed to that person's family member. I don't know. There was just something that just felt icky about it, and I just wasn't. We just weren't. We're just not in the business of just throwing product at people just to make a number happen, and that was something that hit really hard when it was done to one of our own. And again, there was a couple people that were involved before we had got involved with that case. But that was the turning point, I think, where we realized, I'm like, oh my God, we're in a different business. We need to do something about this.
Mm.
We can't just continue to stay here. Not realizing that alignment, once we truly had alignment, that was going to propel us. I mean, in terms of growth, I don't think, and again, we were in no way were we this massive firm when we left, right? I mean, we were pretty, we were pretty good. We were doing really well. We were ranking, right? But I think, man, like when you look at, I mean, it's hard to grow. At some points when the numbers get bigger, it's really hard to grow. It's hard to double, right? I mean, we all know that.
Hey,
But
Dave, would you be open? Question, and we
uh,
didn't talk about this. You want to share
oh, I don't care. Yeah,
your
whatever.
so the
Totally
AUM when
fine.
you left, right,
Totally
to
fine.
where
Yeah.
you are today.
If it
This would
helps
be
anybody on the call, absolutely. So when we
what
left,
the goal here is educate people in our community, people that are in these constrained environments, to what's possible. And it's not a hey, come to Cornerstone. Hey, go anywhere else but where you are today. So
right,
so
right.
yeah, give us some metrics here.
So we left. I was gonna say it took us, man, it took us a while. So we had started, I guess when we had gone to the previous firm, we were at $10 million when we went to the previous firm. By the time we left, let's see how many years that, what was that? That was 5 years later. We went from 10, we left at 42 million. Today we close out today. If we're at 120. So that was
Wow. I
3
mean,
years.
let's
So we went 42, 120 in 3 years with learning everything new. By the way, again, COVID, like for us, prospecting for us was, we used to do the old school calling people at their desk, corporate kind of stuff. And that's gone, by the way, that's over, right? No one even has phones anymore. Everyone does everything through Teams. So we had done, so again, we had we had a good amount of growth, a decent amount of growth in those first couple of years at the previous company. But then once we were able to truly, I guess, once we found a home, because I didn't realize how much that was taking away. Like we spent half the year, Carmine, we spent half the year trying to find people that those products would fit for because we had all of these requirements that we had to hit. I mean, think about that. So we only got to build what we wanted for 6 months. The other 6 months, we're trying to find, and I'm sure anyone who's on this call probably probably have the same level of ethics where I'm not going to just give it to anyone. I have to find the right person.
That's right. You were forced to work with clients that were not ideal for your
Not
skill
at
set
all.
as an advisor.
Not at
Was
all.
not your ideal avatar as a client.
Right.
You had to find the people that needed insurance policies to check the box. And same thing with me.
100%.
Same thing
And
with
spent money,
everyone.
by the way. Spent a
Yeah,
ton of money. I mean, for the most part, I felt like we were exchanging dollars for FYC at that point, just to try to keep our grids intact. And I'm finding these clients, and again, nice people will always do the right thing with people. But would I have talked to those clients otherwise? Absolutely not. They just weren't in, they wouldn't have met our minimums now. I think
yeah. I
now,
mean, you and your partner specialize in C-level executives, corporate clients,
right.
complicated benefits offerings, stock options, RSU. Like it's real complicated things, and you guys are planning first. Knee deep in the planning
Yes.
software. You do planning for almost every one of your clients and charge fees for that.
Yep.
So if someone just needs a $500,000 term policy,
We're actually
you
referring
don't.
that out. We refer it
Right
out.
today. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. You're not even gonna, so we only have so much time. And that $500,000 client, that term policy client, they need help and they'll find it. It's very easy, but
100%.
that's not your niche.
Well, again, it's a lot of time that's spent. If you're gonna do things properly for a client, it's a lot of time spent. I mean, you're not like we were never in the business of shortchanging people with time just
Yeah.
because, right? I mean, that's just that never felt right. Like ethics for us has always been primary. And I think when you're in an environment where again, where you have to, listen, those products, I say that they're a tool in the toolbox. Every product's a tool in the toolbox. It fits someone, right? But if you're going to do the right thing and you really want to make sure it benefits that person, like you got to dig a little deeper. And that took time. And it took a lot of time away from us and our business
Yeah.
and what we wanted. We spent half the year working for them, finding them their clients. And then we only got to spend 6 months finding what we wanted and building the business
God,
we wanted.
that's such a good way to frame it. We had those same product requirements, and July 1st to June 30th, I call it elevator music. So for
Yeah.
two reasons. One, it's low and it's in the background, right? Normally. And two, it's never anything you like. So that elevator
Right.
music would play like, where do you land on our council level? Because, and by the way, Dave's referring to these minimums, and I am too, about where this insurance company put you on their scale, had zero to do with recognition and everything to do with our revenue. Our payout was tied to it, our benefits
That
for
was
me and my family,
right. Well,
our existence, because if it went below a number, they'll cancel our contract and then our clients are left in the wind.
what
So
about
for
your
us
employees? Like your
and
employees
our
too. Like you're
staff,
paying your employees. Like if
right?
you're gonna listen, if you're in growth mode, and everyone knows this, if you're in growth mode, your margins are gonna be a little lower, right? Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
reality. And every penny counts at that point, especially when you're, if you're sub 100 million, it's even harder, right? I mean, you have staff, you have costs, you have things you have to think about. And then you have all of a sudden, because you didn't sell enough term insurance, your grid's going to go down, and now you may potentially have
That's
to
right.
fire someone. Like there's more people that are affected by that minimum than just you, and
Yeah. And
that
it's,
was really tough for us because I always felt, listen, I want to just, and again, I want to say this 100 times. It's the business that they're in. Like I'm not mad at that, right? I'm not mad. It was the business that they're in. They're in a product manufacturing business, and that's what they should be doing. But I was not in that business, and I did not realize that there was another way. And again, the reality for us, listen, it's a big misconception that I've had discussions with people from that company even after he left, and like, oh, you're getting paid more. And it's like, no, that was not the reason why at all. The idea for us was we wanted a clear head, be able to grow our business and be able to do more for our clients. That was the primary motivator for making that jump. Was I want to run a real business. I don't want to be a rep. Like I don't want to be a rep for the company. I want to run we want to run our business the way that we see fit.
mhm.
We want to be planning first. We want to truly be a fiduciary. I mean, the entire right in the entire scope of your working with that client, which we've had
Mhm.
discussions with that. You're right. There's some complications there as well when you have a
Oh yeah,
product manufacturer that you work for.
for
But again,
sure.
it had nothing to do. Listen, it had nothing to do with comp. It really didn't in the end. I mean, because again, we could have kept doing what we're doing, but we figured that we're like, hey, you know what? If we're going to grow the company the way we want to, the reality is we have to find somewhere that we truly align with that is planning first and isn't
Yeah.
going to penalize us for being planning first.
Great way to encapsulate that. And that's where that true alignment comes in, because the intent of the insurance company is to sell product, and I don't fault them either.
No, it's their
Uh,
business.
Here's something, an exercise we bring a potential advisor that we're going through our intake process. And there's three columns. Like what services do you want to provide your client? Let's use financial plan. This is a perfect
Mhm.
example.
Right.
Does your firm allow it? Yes or no? Yes. Well, does your firm support it? Because when I started at this insurance company, and I charged my first financial plan fee in '05, there was one person there for 13,000 people that was the head of financial planning. I had to drive to Manhattan to go over to paperwork with him. They were zoomed in, we couldn't meet virtually. This was, whatever, how many years ago, man, am I old. Um, and God bless his heart, because he helped me through all my first financial plans, but I had to drive to Manhattan. and go over the paperwork, how's the software work, and there's one person. So the fact that your firm says, oh, no, you could charge fees for planning. Yeah, but dig deeper. Are they going to support you in that endeavor? If that's your core, and that's where true alignment is, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, it was, I want to go back to something. So those metrics you gave, 42 million when less than 3 years ago. Now your guys are hitting 120 million now. Here's a question. Now, a couple questions. One, you didn't onboard a $40 million client in this time
No,
frame. That I know,
no,
right? So it wasn't
that did
one
not
big
happen.
client that moved the needle.
Yeah.
You did it by elevating your floor
Mhm.
because of staff and technology has allowed you, automations have allowed you to work much
100%.
more efficient, right?
100%.
Here's another question though, and this is even more important, is lifestyle. Are you and your partner working less hours?
So interesting. That's an interesting. So we are not working more hours. Let's just put it that way. I'd say now. So now we our strategy in terms of business development. We've been able to devote more time to that. That's how I'm going to put
Mhm.
it. Is there's a lot of things that were in our way previously. In fact, we had 2 staff people just to deal with the amount of the amount of time we were on hold. Believe it or not.
Oh, right,
I
right.
know that's like a funny. We actually calculated the amount. I'm not going to share it on this call, but we calculated the amount of money that we spent with our staff people just on hold. I mean that's the kind of stuff you don't even think about how that's affecting right your bottom line. I mean at that point again that was the case that
Yeah.
was the time at the time that was a major problem we were running into. But again, I would say we were able to, because of technology and because of the way the processes are, you just need less people. Let's start there. Without a doubt, you need less people to get the same result, right? Because the processes and the technology make it so that you don't
Yeah.
have redundancies like we had before.
So
Had
you
a lot of
shed
redundancies in the
actually,
business. Yeah.
you shed 2 staff people shortly after joining and just
Yep.
added one. So
Mhm.
in this growth mode, you did a lot of that with utilizing our internal service team, which is fantastic because on a cost perspective, number one, but number two, you don't have someone there to you have to coach, train, inspire. We house them all, so we're taking that lift off of the advisor teams to be able
Yes.
to just enable you and your other an OC, other Carmine, to just go out
Mhm.
and see your clients. It's elimination.
Well,
Elimination
that's
is
right.
more impactful to growth than adding stuff. And our framework here at Cornerstone was built around eliminating as many things as you should not be doing. You just need to go be in front of your clients.
That's yep.
Yep.
Carm, I would say that so having access to that was a game changer for us in terms of I still call it the off team, but you can call it whatever you want. The pod. You don't like that one either, right?
No.
But anyway, when that was piloted back in a couple years ago when we got involved with that, but that was a huge time saver for us. So I think the kind of go for the full circle is we've been able to eliminate a lot of the things that were I'm gonna say was busy work. We were able
Yeah.
to farm that out. That gave us a lot of time back. And at that point, I would say we were getting the same result in terms of revenue with a lot less work put in. And
Yeah.
then we said, okay, let's use that time right. Let's be constructive. Let's use this time and let's make some money out of it. And we spent more time with our clients. We were able to meet some of our clients' friends and such because again, when it came down to it, we just spent more time talking to them. If you spend more time talking to them and you're top of mind, they're going to introduce you to more people. That's just
That's
what
right.
happens. That was for us. So I would say our entire growth was all referral. Now, I think there's another point to that as well. And it kind of goes back to alignment for a second. But I think a lot of our clients have said there's something different about you guys now. Like there's
Hmm.
something different about the way you guys carry yourselves. And I think a big part of that is again is we know what business we're in. There's never that you don't realize it. Listen, if you're at a company that produces a product, they're constantly chirping in your ear. They're always chirping in your ear about a particular new product that's coming out and this and that and these different ideas. There's wholesalers kind of beating down your doors. So it's always kind of in the back of your head, but you don't realize you're looking at it through company branded goggles. You really are. You just don't realize it.
It is so.
And then when you're gone and you're out of that, you look back and you're like, holy moly. Like, I mean, some people now, someone the other day goes to me, oh yeah, I'm thinking about getting a term policy. Like a few years ago, I would have been like, oh, we can help you with that. I mean, someone goes, oh, I want to get a term policy. And now I'm like, hey, listen, I know someone for that if you need.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You just carry yourself completely different. Like people run away from that guy at the party that's always trying to, right? Like that's the guy that's always trying to
Yeah.
sell. So I will tell you, it has been tremendously, we carry ourselves different. And as a result of that, so again, spending more time with clients, just
That's great.
being different with clients, we've gotten referrals. And by the way, all of our referrals are lateral or up,
That's right.
which is
We
really
try.
flattering.
Yeah. We look at that metrics for you guys and how you've elevated your floor multiple times once you shed all that unnecessary, you could call it time. I call it distraction.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot
We
of
have so many
distraction.
units of energy a day that we could spend. If you got to spend half of those units on dealing with the inefficiencies at the firm level for you to just
Yeah.
get the job done, you have less units to use when you're in front of that client.
Yep.
So yeah. The second thing that we discussed around like the things that fed into the impact is the coaching and the consulting here we have at Cornerstone. So I use the term partnering,
Mhm.
right? Because I partner with every one of the advisors and advisor teams. I run kind of as a co-visionary role with planning. In fact, we have a strategy session set for next week for
Yep.
a potential new hire, right? I love
Yep.
getting in the weeds. That's the thing that gives me energy is helping the advisor and advisor teams grow operationally, helping you with head trash, which every advisor has, right? But talk to me about how the coaching and consulting and the masterminds and things we do here training wise, how's
Yep.
that different than what the bigger firms were providing you?
Well, I don't think we were getting that at any of the previous firms that we've been in. It's always been more again around a product sale. That was always the more the coaching that you had gotten right here. Oh, here's a talk track for selling this particular product. I don't think there was anything where, at least that I got to experience, where it was a bunch of people in a room together from the same firm, all presenting something that they're having a challenge with, and then everyone collectively coming up with a with possible answers for that. Like it's almost like having a board of directors for your company.
It's such a great. So for the people who don't know, we run a master. We do 6 masterminds a year. 2 are live. The other 4 are virtual. And every advisor comes with their biggest issue, opportunity, or concern and presents to the group. And they have a certain amount of time, and everyone gives feedback. So it's a very selfish exercise on my part because I sit there and all I do is take notes. And I'm like, all right, is there a common thread? How can I help Dave? How can I help this one? This is an easy problem. Hey, we'll take this offline. I have a solution for you. But out of those meetings, I've seen common threads and then built out a training program or multiple follow-ups around this one topic. If I see 2, 3, or 4 people have the same concerns and issues,
Yeah.
those are my marching orders. So for me, it's like, how do I make sure that my vow to every advisor is to build and maintain an enterprise where they can grow the practice of their dreams. So that's my promise to everyone. So getting everyone in a room 6 times a year and going, what are your biggest issues, opportunities, concerns? We've changed things on the fly from these meetings. So again, for advisors to flush out these things to the group of their peers, all in the same business,
Alignment exists between
all
everybody because
aligned,
everybody's in the same
right?
business, right? No one's
And
right.
then
There's
this
nobody that's an insurance
CEO,
agent or right.
that's right. And the CEO and sometimes the COO sitting there taking notes saying,
Yep.
hey, we can fix this. Let's fix this. Let's fix this for them. Let's talk to this person and that person. We moved the needle so much we'll be 6 years old in May. You look at our infrastructure back then to today, the service team idea building out a service team. We have 4 or 5 members now, and their only job is to help advisors like Dave prep their meetings, pre and post, schedule appointments, onboard new clients. That came out of a mastermind that I had in Denver. So I love taking in these ideas and turn around executing because, yeah, I love it. But the coaching and consulting thing for me is what gives me energy. That's my dopamine hit. I can tell you that.
I know you
Um,
enjoy that. We enjoy it too.
oh,
Listen, we enjoy it too because I think there's been so many cases where we like, for example, like here's a great example. When we were bringing on Sean, one of the conversations that we had early on was like, "Hey, how's everybody training their staff people? Like,
mm,
we had staff people before; they were great. We love them. Um, we parted ways with them, and none of it was bad, right? It was just life changes for them as well, and we just decided not to rehire. So I just want to make that clear. We didn't fire those other two people when we
Oh,
got in.
yes, I'm sorry.
We just
Sorry, yes.
we didn't fire them when we got in. It was there were some life changes for them. There's some, and we decided not to rehire after those people had left. So I mean, again, for us, it was it was real simple. The whole idea of the alpha team that picked up again a lot of the slack. So we didn't really need to hire anyone for a while. We were able to man that. It's Carm and I. Like, we're lucky. Like, I don't know if anybody else has that where they have two people. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of share the responsibility of stuff.
Mhm.
And we just decided to reinvest money into the company. You know what I mean? That was the thing. Was like, hey, rather than us, let's reinvest money in the clients. Let's get more more opportunity for the clients. Let's bring them on. Let's do more dinners. Let's do more, right. Um, anyway, but now full circle back to the masterminds. But we were able to solve like the way we got a lot of the ideas for that stuff. How to train Sean eventually, right? And what was other people doing? That stuff came out of the masterminds. Like all of
Mm.
those things I just talked about, all of those were discussed in sequence during those masterminds, and it was helpful to hear from other people. Because when like, if you have an idea in a vacuum, like you and your partner, I don't know if anybody else is a partner on the call, but like if you and your partner are having a discussion, it's always a great idea. It's always a great idea.
Until.
Until you share it with other people and they're like, and they just start shooting holes in it. And you're like, thank you for doing that. And that has been for us, the masterminds have been that time to be able to share with our, like, again, board of directors. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
We have like a board. We have a whole group of people that they want to see us do well. We want to see them do well. And we've been able to solve a lot of problems and essentially get the cheat code and not have to waste any time.
Yes. And when you guys hired Sean, he spent a few days with us here shadowing the service team.
Yes,
Actually, I don't know how many days he's been here. And a lot of our advisors and advisor teams have sent their staff here. And that's something we offer to anyone. Hey, look, if you want them to ride shotgun on some of the service team members or get, we have a tech person, you want additional training on tech.
Mhm.
And it's all built around enabling the end advisor to go see your clients or take time off. Detachment is a superpower. Very few advisors do it. They don't have the back office support.
Yep.
And they don't mentally think it's possible until they actually try it. And they're like, oh my God, for 5 or 6 days, I didn't have to look at email because someone's got my back. And that's the environment that I built. And that's the environment we'll continue to build out and maintain. So you can be an advisor, be a father, be a husband, or just go read for 2 days. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Right. The third thing is executing on a true vision. Now, you and your partner have a very, very clear vision on who you want or what you want Strata Capital to be known for. Like special. So why don't you give me that vision of what you want Strata
Sure.
Capital to be?
So we really want we went very niche. And it's happened over over the course of years. I would say we were a little bit more, like everybody else in the beginning, you're kind of willing to take on just about anything because you got to pay the bills. But then, but you kind of focus your efforts towards these, we like Fortune 500 employees. That's really where we built our business. And then even more so, we've honed that more as we put in hard minimums and we've put in, or I guess we've also, to a certain extent, we realized our value, like who we're valuable to, who are we most valuable to, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's corporate. Again, we're talking vice president and up. They're generally getting stock compensation. They have access to deferred compensation. There's a lot of stuff to do for them. And that makes us valuable. They're generally in top tax bracket or close to it. They generally have, I'm going to say 2 million or more in assets. And those kinds of folks, we can do really good work for. Now, that was really hard initially for us to mentally wrap our heads around because you're like, wait, what do I do? I'm going to say no to everyone underneath that. Well, yeah, you are, unless you build out some kind of incubator, which again, I know you've thought about doing that as well. And and that's again, that's something that we're considering doing. And that's why we're having discussions. So again, kind of going back to the coaching thing, Carm is helping us to build out an offer for someone to come in to take those clients under $2 million so that we can continue to concentrate on biz dev and meeting more people and doing more client events and doing. But again, for us, as we've narrowed who we work with, we've gotten referrals to those exact people. I mean, like, and again, our clients know that's who we work for. So again, it's been, I will tell you, we're certainly happier. This is certainly more scalable now. That's for sure. Because it's the same thing. It's building widgets now. I'm doing the same thing over and over. Now, generally, again, every client situation is going to be different, right? The goals are different. Their lifestyles are different.
The data is different.
Right? So all the data is different. But what they have access to, the tools that I can use are the same. Right? That's really what it comes down to. And that's been, for us, the vision for Strata Capital is to be premier in financial planning for corporate executives. That's really the vision. Now, I want to we could not do that somewhere else. And again, I'm not, listen, we could do this and I love Cornerstone. I'm biased because again, we're also good friends and we've had a really great business relationship.
Me too.
Right. There you go.
Look at my mug. That's right.
Go. But I think anyone, once you identify where you want to be and you know where you want to grow your business and who you want to work with, I think you need to find the backbone now, or you have to find the platform that's going to allow you to do that and do that 100% of the time, all the time. Like if I look at previous companies, nothing wrong with those companies, but the reality was it was financial planning with training wheels. That's really what it was. Their platforms.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Listen, their platforms are built. It'll lift the offering of a crappier or average advisor, right? That's the way the platform is built. It's to lift the offering for those people that maybe aren't students of the business and maybe they're not as sophisticated, but it'll lift them up and give a better offering, right?
Built to a lower common denominator, like the compliance guardrails, right? The bigger firms, right?
The averagely good kind of advisor who's going to give average good advice. And they're not going to listen. They're not going to. It's not going to be. It's going to help somebody, and it's not going to hurt anybody, right? But that's what those platforms are built for. They're built for 10, 15, 20,000 advisors. They don't know the capabilities of all those advisors, right?
Yep.
And those advisors they have to put guardrails in. I couldn't build my practice there because I can't do the kind of tax planning that makes sense for those kinds of clients. It would be prohibited to do that at that previous firm. Now, again, for a star advisor, someone who's got a great future, cares about their clients, wants to do the next level, a platform like that is handcuffs. That's handcuffs for them. You cannot grow. You cannot do what you need to do for your client. And then you're always playing that game, whether like, should I give this advice? Should I not give this advice? Oh, wait, I can't comment on the 401k. I can't comment. Like for us, we never would have built this vision if we didn't have the alignment with, again, planning first and having all of the opportunities that we have. Now, mind you, you can get that. You can get that at a lot of independent shops. For us, you were just the best fit for us. And that's what it came down to. We're in the same business.
What has been the most kind of encapsulating all this? There's a lot of stuff, and we could talk about this for hours.
I was just going to say, this is
and nobody wants to hear me or you talk for hours. What's been the most rewarding part of the independent journey? Like looking back over 3 years, what do you think the most rewarding part has been for you?
I think it was probably a couple of weeks ago, and I wish Carmine was on this because he would say the exact same thing that I'm about to say. A client we just took on a very large, very nice, great client, exactly what we want, right? And they basically said something that was, again, it was just so flattering. They were like, at first, like when we came on, like we thought this was going to be a typical kind of advisory experience. And in no way, shape, or form is this. They're like, the amount of stuff that you've done for us outside, they're like, just if we like remove out the investment management, because everybody thinks that's what financial planning is, which blows my mind. But anyway, remove out the investment part, right? He basically said, he's like, Dave, everything, Carm, everything you guys have done coordinating with accountants and attorneys and all this different, like, I didn't think that that's what advisors did. I thought you just managed money and that was it. He's like, I almost feel like, he's like, I almost feel like, like we're like underpaying you. Like you're cheap. And that was really flattering to hear that, because again, we don't need to raise fees. Let's just put that. Well, I don't need to do that to be profitable. And again, we can do all of these things and show true value to the client. Like that to me has made this all worth it. Like someone sees the value over and above the investment management and the basic financial planning stuff, that, right? They look in and go, holy crap,
Yep.
I can't believe you do all of this. And by the way,
You
again,
know,
I could have been still 6 months a year selling insurance and finding annuity products and long-term care products that fit clients, and not doing, like, this is what makes me happy. This is what, to me, like, this is what I made the move for, was so someone, again, well, for us, because we knew we were doing a good job, but to have someone else realize and say, hey, this is great. Like, thank you so much. This is way more than I expected. That makes this worth it.
that's that validation. And you're saying that clients see you differently now. You're acting differently, you're operating differently. And that's when you don't have those constraints, when you know that someone's got your back for all the right reasons, by the way.
Mhm.
Your confidence level, everything changes. I think there's physiological changes too, as well as you carry yourself. And this has all been great, but your impact from the day you came on to today, again, we're gonna create a white paper, you and 3 other advisors, which is very similar results. But Dave, this has been great.
Thank you. Thanks for having
I
me.
can, so many people can say the independent channel is great and blah, 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 but let's look 3 years out. What's changed? And I know you and Carmine very well. So I know even on the personal side, life is better for both of you because you don't have that ethical tug of war going on.
Yeah.
Am I going to be an insurance agent today, or am I actually going to be an advisor today? What day of the year is it? Where do we stand for counsel? How do we protect our payout? That you should never start your day with that filter. We should have one filter. How can I help people today? End of story. And
Yeah.
that's what's changed in my life being independent. It'll be, again, 6 years in May that Cornerstone's been here. So, listen, if any of this information sounds good to you, if you're in one of these environments where you feel like you're being held back and all you want to do is help your clients, contact me. Let's have a conversation. There's a link in the chat. Completely exploratory conversation to see if you're a right fit here at Cornerstone. If you're sitting there scratching your head saying this all sounds great, I feel like I'm being held back. Great, let's talk. If you're okay selling your firm's proprietary products and you're okay with it and you see value in that, this isn't for you, and that's fine as well. There's no right or wrong in the industry. It's just how you decide to run your practice. So thank you for all joining. Great turnout today. Dave, again, thank you for your time. I know it's valuable. Please send me a bill so I can tear it up. But thank you so much, Dave, again. And I look forward to hearing from anyone that wants to talk. So have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Carm.